The night was cold, and the wind howled through the trees. Clouds covered the moon, casting deep shadows over the land. A lone figure moved through the darkness, his heavy footsteps pressing into the frozen ground. His clothes were torn, his skin pale and scarred. He was not an ordinary man. He was something created, something unnatural. For years he had wandered alone, rejected by the world that feared him. He had no name, no home, no peace. But tonight, everything would change. He gripped a weapon in his hands, a silver blade with strange symbols carved into it. He did not know where it had come from, but he had taken it from the bodies of strange creatures that had attacked him. They were not human, nor were they beasts. They had dark, leathery skin, glowing red eyes, and moved with unnatural speed. He had killed them. And now, more were coming. A growl echoed through the night. The creature turned, his sharp senses detecting movement. A shadow leaped from the trees, claws flashing in the dim light. He dodged just in time, swinging his blade. The creature shrieked as the silver cut deep into its chest. More came. They circled him like wolves hunting their prey. But he was no ordinary prey. He fought back with all his strength, moving with speed and power beyond any man. But there were too many. A sharp pain shot through his side as one of the creatures raked its claws across him. He fell to one knee, breathing heavily. His vision blurred. Then from the sky, a bright light appeared. Figures dressed in shining armor descended from above, striking the creatures with weapons that glowed like fire. The creatures screamed and fled into the night. The man lay there, gasping. One of the warriors approached him, her face stern but not unkind. She looked at him closely, as if she knew what he was. "Come with us," she said. He did not know who they were. He did not trust them. But he had nowhere else to go. The warriors took him to a great fortress hidden within the mountains. Inside, he saw strange writings on the walls, ancient books stacked on high shelves, and weapons unlike anything he had ever seen. "You are not the only one fighting these creatures," the woman told him. "They are demons, and they seek to destroy humanity. We are the Gargoyle Order, protectors of mankind." The man said nothing. He had fought these creatures before, but never knew what they were. "You are more than what you believe yourself to be," she continued. "You were created, yes, but you have a soul, and that makes you dangerous to them and to others." He did not understand. He had spent his life being hunted, rejected. How could he have a soul? But then the leader of the order, a towering figure with golden eyes, spoke. "There is a war coming," he said, "and you, Adam, may be the key to winning it." At last the man had a name. Adam. Adam sat in a dimly lit chamber within the Gargoyle Order's fortress. The walls were lined with ancient texts and weapons, crafted for a war older than time itself. His body ached from the battle, but the wounds were healing fast, another sign that he was not like ordinary men. The woman who had spoken to him earlier entered the room. She had dark hair tied back in a braid, and her armor gleamed in the candlelight. "My name is Lenora," she said. "You have questions. Ask them." Adam hesitated. He had never been given the chance to ask anything before, only to run, to fight, to survive. But now, "Why do the demons want me?" he finally asked. Lenora folded her arms. "Because you are something unnatural to them. You were not born but made. You have no soul, or so they believe, and that makes you valuable to them. They seek to understand what you are, or destroy you before you can discover it yourself." Adam clenched his fists. He had spent his entire existence in suffering because of what he was, but now these creatures were hunting him for a reason beyond his understanding. "What do you want from me?" he asked. Lenora studied him carefully. "That depends. Do you wish to run forever, or do you want to fight back?" For the first time in his long life, Adam felt a sense of direction. He had been running for years. Perhaps it was time to stop. "I will fight," he said. Lenora nodded. "Then we have much to prepare for." Far away, deep beneath the city, An ancient demon lord sat upon a throne of black stone. His name was Naberius, and he had spent centuries planning his rise to power. Kneeling before him was a scientist, a man of flesh and blood. Unlike the monsters surrounding him, his name was Dr. Williams Wessex, and he had devoted his life to unlocking the secrets of life and death. "You have made progress?" Naberius asked, his voice like a whisper of fire. Wessex adjusted his glasses. "Yes, my lord. I believe I have discovered a way to reanimate the dead, just as Albert once did. And you are certain it will work?" "I only require one final piece of knowledge. I need to study the creature himself." Naberius's lips curled into a grin. "Then we must bring him to you." Adam spent the next few days training with the Gargoyle Order. They taught him how to fight, how to use weapons forged to destroy demons, and how to move through the world unseen. But something inside him remained restless. He was still different from the others. He did not belong here, just as he did not belong anywhere else. One evening, as he stood on the fortress balcony, looking over the city, Lenora approached him. "You are troubled," she said. Adam exhaled. "I do not understand why you fight for humanity. They fear you, just as they fear me." Lenora sighed. "It is not about their fear. It is about their survival. Even if they do not know we exist, we protect them because it is right." Adam looked down at his hands that had taken lives, that had been rejected by the very world they were meant to exist in. Before he could respond, the fortress alarm rang out. They were under attack. Demons poured into the fortress, their claws tearing through stone and steel. The gargoyles fought back, their weapons glowing with holy fire. Adam leaped into battle, striking down any creature that came near. But something was wrong. This attack was not meant to destroy. It was meant to distract. Before he could react, a heavy force struck him from behind. Darkness overtook him. When he woke, he was no longer in the fortress. He was in a laboratory, and standing over him was Dr. Wessex. "Finally," the scientist whispered, his eyes filled with twisted excitement. "The secret of life itself is within my grasp." Adam struggled against the metal restraints holding him to the cold steel table. The dim lights above flickered, casting eerie shadows across the laboratory. Strange machines hummed around him, their wires and tubes connected to his body. Dr. Wessex stood nearby, observing him like a specimen under a microscope. "You are a miracle, you know," Wessex said, adjusting his glasses. "A being created from dead flesh, yet alive. And now, with you, I can perfect my work." Adam's jaw tightened. "I am not your experiment," Wessex chuckled. "Oh, but you are. And soon you will help us raise an army of the dead. Imagine, a legion of soldiers, unkillable, unstoppable. Humanity will fall, and a new age will begin." Adam pulled hard against the restraints. "You will fail," Wessex only smiled. "That is what Albert believed. But I am not him. I will succeed where he failed." Suddenly a door burst open. A group of armed guards entered, followed by a woman in a white lab coat. She had sharp, intelligent eyes and a determined expression. Her name was Tara Wade, and she was one of Wessex's top scientists. She approached the table, glancing at Adam before turning to Wessex. "This wasn't part of the agreement," she said, her voice firm. Wessex frowned. "You were brought here to help, not question my work." "Help?" she repeated, glaring at him. "I agreed to research artificial life, not torture a living being." Adam studied her closely. She was different from the others in this place. There was something human in her eyes. "Dr. Wade," Wessex said, his voice growing colder. "If you are not with us, you are against us." Tara hesitated. Then, with a deep breath, she made her choice. She turned and slammed her elbow into the nearest guard's face. Chaos erupted. Alarms blared. Guards lunged toward Tara, but she was fast. She grabbed a scalpel from a nearby tray and slashed at the straps, holding Adam down. "Can you fight?" she asked urgently. Adam flexed his fingers as the restraints came loose. "Yes." Without hesitation, He grabbed a metal rod from a nearby table and swung it into a guard's chest, sending him crashing into a machine. Sparks flew. More guards rushed in. Adam fought through them with brute strength, while Tara moved swiftly, dodging attacks and using whatever tools she could find as weapons. "Come on!" she shouted, leading him toward a door. As they ran through the halls, Adam glanced at her. "Why are you helping me?" Tara didn't look at him. "Because you're not the monster they say you are." For the first time in his long, cursed existence, someone saw him as something more. They reached an exit, but just as they were about to escape, a dark figure blocked their path. It was Naberius. Naberius stood tall, his black suit pristine, his glowing red eyes fixed on Adam. "You are strong," he said, his voice calm but deadly. "But you are alone. I can change that." Adam tightened his grip on the metal rod. "I would rather be alone than serve you." Naberius smirked. "Serve? No. I offer you something greater. A purpose." Tara stepped beside Adam. "Don't listen to him," she warned. But Naberius ignored her. His gaze remained on Adam. "You were abandoned, hated, feared. But with me, you would be unstoppable. No more hiding, no more running. Join me, and I will give you what Albert never could, true power." For a brief moment, Adam hesitated. All his life, he had been hunted, rejected. What if this was his chance to finally be more than just a mistake? Then he looked at Tara. She had risked everything to free him. She had seen him as something other than a monster. Adam turned back to Naberius. His decision was clear. "I am not like you," he said. Naberius' smile faded. "Then you will die." With a roar, the demon lord lunged. The battle was fierce. Naberius moved with inhuman speed, striking at Adam with deadly precision. But Adam had fought monsters before. He blocked, countered, and struck back with everything he had. Tara grabbed a gun from a fallen guard and fired at Naberius, but the bullets barely slowed him. "We need to get out of here," she shouted. Adam dodged another strike. "Go! I'm not leaving you!" Adam growled in frustration. He couldn't let her die because of him. And then an idea formed. He grabbed a loose power cable, and just as Naberius lunged again, he swung it toward the demon. The exposed wires sparked. Electricity surged through Naberius' body. The demon screamed in agony. His form flickered, his human disguise breaking apart to reveal the monster underneath. It was enough! Adam grabbed Tara and ran. They burst through the exit just as explosions rocked the facility behind them. Outside, the night air was cold and fresh, but there was no time to rest. Naberius wasn't dead, and this war wasn't over. They found temporary shelter in an abandoned building. Adam sat on the floor, exhausted. Tara paced, rubbing her temples. "You're insane, you know that?" she muttered. Adam raised an eyebrow. "I saved your life." Tara let out a breath and sat beside him. "I know, and now we're both on the run." Silence filled the room for a moment. Then she spoke again. "Wessex was right about one thing," she admitted. "You are different, but not because you're a monster." Adam looked at her. "Then why?" Tara hesitated. "Because I think you do have a soul." Adam stared at her. No one had ever said that before. No one had ever believed in him like this. Before he could respond, a sound outside made them both tense. The war was far from over. And Adam wasn't running anymore. The night was silent. Too silent. Adam and Tara crouched inside the ruined building, listening. The wind whistled through broken windows, carrying the distant sounds of the city. But something else was out there, watching, waiting. Tara gripped the gun she had taken from Wessex's lab. "How long until they find us?" Adam didn't answer. He didn't need to. He could feel it in his bones. The demons wouldn't stop hunting him. Naberius had been injured but not destroyed, and he would come for them. They had to move. Adam led Tara through the crumbling streets, keeping to the shadows. He had spent years hiding, surviving. But now, with someone else depending on him, the weight of it felt different. Tara suddenly grabbed his arm. Wait. Adam stopped. A dark figure moved in the distance. Then another. And another. The demons had found them. The demons attacked fast. Shadows leaped from the alleys, claws slashing through the air. Adam pushed Tara behind him and swung a broken metal pipe at the first attacker. The impact sent the creature flying, but more came. Tara fired, her bullets finding their targets. But for every demon they took down, two more appeared. They're trying to capture us, Tara shouted. Adam gritted his teeth. Then we don't let them. He fought with everything he had, breaking bones, crushing skulls. But he wasn't invincible. A sharp claw raked across his back. Another struck his leg. Tara ran out of bullets. A demon lunged at her. She dodged, but slipped on the wet pavement. The creature raised its claws for a killing blow. Adam roared and slammed into it, sending them both crashing into a brick wall. The impact dazed him, but he forced himself up. More demons surrounded them. They couldn't win this fight. Run, Adam shouted, grabbing Tara's hand. They sprinted through the city, dodging attacks, leaping over debris. The demons chased them relentlessly. Then up ahead, bright lights, a vehicle. Adam recognized the driver, Lenora. She skidded the armored truck to a stop. Get in! Adam and Tara didn't hesitate. They dove into the back as Lenora floored the gas. The demons howled behind them, but the truck roared forward, leaving them in the dust. For now, the truck rumbled through the city. Inside, Adam sat across from Lenora, his wounds healing rapidly. Tara looked between them. You know her? Lenora gave Adam a sharp look. He didn't tell you? We're on the same side. Tara frowned. So why did it take you so long to help us? Lenora didn't answer right away. Then she sighed. The Order had doubts about him. Some believed he was too dangerous to be trusted. Adam clenched his fists. And what do you believe? Lenora studied him. I believe you're more than what you were made to be, but you have to prove it. Tara crossed her arms. And what about Wessex? Naberius? Lenora's expression darkened. They're preparing something, a ritual. If they succeed, they'll unleash an army of reanimated corpses, powered by demon energy. Adam stiffened. And I'm the key to that, aren't I? Lenora nodded. Yes, you're the missing piece. Silence filled the truck. Then Tara spoke. Then we have to stop them. The Gargoyle Order's fortress was already under attack when they arrived. The sky burned red, lightning crackling above. Demons swarmed the battlefield, clashing with the Order's warriors. In the distance, a massive structure pulsed with energy. Wessex's lab, repurposed for the ritual. Adam turned to Lenora. Get your people inside. Lenora nodded. What about you? Adam tightened his grip on his weapon. I'm ending this. Tara grabbed his arm. You're not doing it alone. Adam met her gaze. For a long time he had fought alone, but not anymore. He gave a small nod. Then let's finish this. They charged into the battle. Inside the lab, Wessex stood at the center of a glowing sigil. Energy crackled around him. Naberius watched from the shadows, his eyes burning with anticipation. Adam and Tara burst through the doors. It's over, Adam growled. Wessex simply smiled. No, Adam, it's only beginning. The sigil flared. Adam staggered as a surge of power crashed over him. His body felt heavy, his vision blurred. Tara cried out as chains of energy wrapped around them both. Naberius stepped forward. Did you really think you could stop fate? Adam gritted his teeth. You won't control me. Naberius chuckled. I don't need to. Then he turned to Tara. She will. Adam's eyes widened as Tara gasped. A second sigil lit up beneath her feet. Wessex grinned. You weren't the only missing piece, Adam. She was too. The truth hit Adam like a hammer. Tara wasn't just a scientist. She was part of the experiment all along. Tara's body trembled as dark energy coiled around her. Her eyes glowed for a moment, then dimmed. She fell to her knees. Adam, I didn't know. Adam's fist clenched. Let her go. Naberius smirked. Make me. Adam didn't hesitate. He attacked. The battle was brutal. Adam fought like never before, fueled by fury and desperation. But Naberius was powerful. Then, Terra screamed. The energy around her shattered. The sigil broke. And suddenly she was free. She grabbed a weapon from the ground, a blade glowing with divine energy. With a fierce cry, she drove it into Wessex's chest. The scientist gasped. Then, with a burst of light, he was gone. Naberius roared. No! Adam seized the moment. He grabbed a broken power conduit and drove it into Naberius's back. Lightning erupted. The demon lord howled as his body burned from the inside out. His form flickered, then vanished into ash. It was over. The fortress stood, but barely. The battle was won, but at great cost. Adam sat on the ruins, staring at the rising sun. Terra sat beside him. So what now? Adam exhaled. I don't know. For the first time in his life, he had no purpose. No war to fight, no enemies to run from. Terra nudged him. Maybe we figure it out together? Adam looked at her. For years, he had been nothing but a creation. A mistake. But now, for the first time, he felt human. And for now, that was enough. For more of this, please subscribe, like, and put on the notification button.